At 3:17 in the morning, dispatch sent me to a silent 911 call. No screaming, no crying, no voice on the line, just breathing. Then, right before the call disconnected, a woman whispered one sentence. "He's still inside." The address came back to an old farmhouse at the end of Mill Road. I knew the place. Everyone in our department knew the place. It had been empty for almost 12 years. The family moved out after the fire, and nobody bought it after that. The road leading there was half gravel, half mud, and at night, the trees leaned over it so tightly that your headlights felt like they were pushing through a tunnel. Dispatch asked if I wanted backup. I said yes, but I was only 5 minutes away, and the nearest unit was 20. So I drove in first. That was the first mistake. The second mistake was thinking the call was fake. We got prank calls sometimes. Teenagers, drunk people, someone testing an old phone. But this felt different. The dispatcher, Mia, stayed on the radio with me. Unit 12, just confirming. Caller was female, whispering, couldn't get a name. "Copy," I said. "Any call history from that address?" There was a pause. Then Mia said, "That's the weird thing. This is the third call tonight." I slowed down. "The third?" First one came in at 1:04, open line, static. Second at 2:26, same thing. Third one had the whisper. I looked at the darkness beyond my windshield. Why am I only hearing about this now? First two dropped before we got a proper location. This one held long enough to trace. Then she said something that made my stomach tighten. Also, the line is registered to a disconnected landline. I almost laughed, but I didn't. There are moments on night shift when your brain tries to stay professional, because professionalism is easier than fear. So I said, "Could be bad records." Mia didn't answer right away. Then she said, "Yeah, could be." The farmhouse appeared at the end of the road. No lights, no cars, no movement. Just a 2-story house with black windows and a sagging porch. The grass was waist high, and the mailbox was hanging open like a broken jaw. I parked my patrol car facing the front door and left the headlights on. The beams hit the porch. That was when I noticed the door was open. Not wide, just a few inches. Enough to look like someone had been standing there a moment ago. I called it in. "Dispatch, I'm on scene. Front door appears unsecured. Copy, Unit 12. Backup is 15 out." I stepped out of the car. The air was cold, but not normal cold. It was the kind of cold you feel in abandoned buildings. Damp, stale, like the house had been holding its breath for years. I walked up the porch slowly. Every board complained under my boots. "Sheriff's Department," I called. "Anyone inside?" No answer. I pushed the door open with my flashlight. The beam cut across old wallpaper, overturned furniture, dust hanging in the air. The house smelled like wet wood. Inside, everything was still, too still. No animals moving in the walls. No wind through broken windows. No creaking, just silence. Then my radio crackled. Mia's voice came through, low and tense. "Unit 12? Go ahead." "We just received another 911 call." I froze. "From where?" She didn't answer immediately. I already knew. "The farmhouse," she said. I stared into the dark hallway. "Mia, I'm standing inside the farmhouse." "I know. Who called?" There was a pause. Then she said, "It's open line again." My flashlight landed on the kitchen doorway. Somewhere deeper in the house, a phone began to ring. Not a mobile phone, an old phone. A real bell ring, sharp, metallic, angry. It rang once, then twice, then again. I moved toward the sound. The kitchen was at the back of the house. The floor was soft in places, so I stepped carefully. My flashlight swept over a cracked table, old plates, cabinets hanging open. And there, mounted on the wall beside the pantry, was a yellowed landline telephone. The kind with a curly cord. It was ringing. I stared at it. The cord had been cut. It hung from the bottom of the phone like a dead vine. The phone rang again. I lifted my radio. Dispatch. I found the phone. Mia's voice was barely above a whisper. Is someone there? No. The phone stopped ringing. Then, through my radio, I heard a click. And a woman's voice. Not Mia. Not anyone I knew. She whispered, "Don't let him hear you." I stopped breathing for a second. "Mia," I said into the radio. "Did you hear that?" No response, only static. Then Mia came back. "Unit 12, repeat your last?" "You didn't hear the voice?" "What voice?" I looked at the cut phone on the wall, then at the hallway behind me. The house had changed. I know how that sounds, but I swear it had changed. When I entered, the place was dead, empty, abandoned. Now it felt occupied, not by one person, by many. Like every room had someone standing just out of sight. I backed away from the kitchen. That was when I heard the floorboard creak upstairs. One step, then another, slow, careful, as if someone was trying not to be heard. I aimed my flashlight up the staircase. "Sheriff's Department," I called. "Come down slowly." The steps stopped. For a moment, there was nothing. Then a woman whispered from the top floor, "He's still inside." Same words as the call, same voice. My backup was still 10 minutes out. I should have waited. Any smart officer would have waited. But there's something about hearing a scared voice in the dark that pulls you forward before your brain can stop you. So I went upstairs. Each step felt weaker than the last. The second floor hallway was narrow. 3 doors on the left, 1 on the right. The wallpaper was peeling in long strips. At the end of the hall was a mirror. My flashlight hit it, and for 1 second, I saw someone standing behind me. A tall shape, thin, wrong. I spun around. Nothing. Only the stairs. Only darkness. My radio crackled again. This time the voice that came through was mine. "Dispatch, I'm on scene. Front door appears unsecured." I went cold. That was what I had said earlier, exactly. Same tone, same breath, same static. "Mia," I said, "why are you replaying my radio traffic?" No answer. Then my voice came through again. Older recording, closer now. "Sheriff's Department. Anyone inside?" The house repeated me. From the radio, from the walls, from somewhere downstairs. Then the cut phone in the kitchen started ringing again. I moved to the first bedroom. Empty. Second bedroom. Empty. Third bedroom. Locked. The whisper came from behind it. "Please." I put my hand on the doorknob. It was warm, not room temperature. Warm like someone had just been holding it from the other side. "Mom," I said. "Step away from the door." No answer. I forced it open with my shoulder. The room was small, a child's room maybe. Old curtains, a broken dresser, a mattress frame with no mattress. On the wall were pencil marks, height marks, names and dates. But they weren't children's names. They were badge numbers, officer badge numbers, dozens of them, some old, some recent. And near the bottom of the wall, written fresh in dark pencil, was mine. 12. Under it was today's date, April 27th. My radio hissed. Mia's voice came through, but now she sounded far away. Unit 12, leave the house. I grabbed the radio. Say again? Leave the house now. Behind me, the bedroom door slowly began to close. I pulled it open and stepped back into the hall. The mirror at the end was no longer reflecting me. It was reflecting the hallway as it should have been. Except in the reflection, all 4 bedroom doors were open, and something was crawling out of the room behind me. I didn't look back. I ran, down the stairs, through the hallway, past the kitchen, where the cut phone was ringing and ringing and ringing, out the front door, across the porch, into the yard. I got to my patrol car, slammed the door, and locked it. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped the keys. The headlights were still pointed at the house. The front door stood open, and in the doorway, I saw a woman. Pale face, wet hair, one hand raised, not waving, warning. Behind her, in the blackness of the hall, something taller leaned down beside her, like it was listening. My backup arrived 2 minutes later. They found me sitting in the car, radio in my lap, staring at the house. We searched the place. No woman, no footprints, no working phone line. The landline in the kitchen was still there, still cut, still dead. They told me I was exhausted, that I heard old interference, that the badge numbers on the wall were probably kids' drawings or vandalism. But the next morning, Mia pulled me aside. She looked like she hadn't slept. She said after I ran out of the house, dispatch received one final 911 call from the same disconnected number. This time, someone spoke clearly. A man, calm, almost amused. He said, "Send another officer." Then the line went dead. I transferred out 3 weeks later. I don't take rural calls anymore. I don't do welfare checks alone. And whenever a phone rings after midnight, I let it ring twice before I answer. Because sometimes a house doesn't call for help. Sometimes it calls for company.